Jewish proverb. A young tree bends, an old tree breaks. Fantastic, beautiful proverb. So deep in understanding. Yes. A young tree bends. Yes, it bends when you are a baby. Everything bends. Everything bends. You start growing up, nothing bends. Everything becomes very stiff because you forgot to do. You forgot to play how the child is so innocently laughing, smiling, jumping, playing. That is gone because everything has been input into you. You become a slave of borrowed knowledge, and in that you become very stiff. A young tree bends, yes, it will bend. It can bend in any direction it can. An old tree will break. You never become old. That is very important. You must understand. Old age is not at all there as long as you know to bend. Even the ripe old age of 100 or 110 also. No work, no food. The Japanese Zen master said, even the ripe old age he works and then only he will eat. That is very, very important. Here they say a young tree bends. Yes, it can bend, it keeps on bending. Continuity is growth. Practice makes a man perfect. That continuity is very, very important. When you do not do the continuity, then it becomes very stiff. As I said, the tall tree breaks in a strong wind, but the long grass will dance to the tune of the wind. Your body should be that flexible. When you are that flexible, even at the age of 100 also, you look very, very young. You can bend, yes, and nothing will happen. The snow falls onto the bamboo shoot, and the bamboo shoot bows to the weight of the snow. Snow is out and the bamboo shoot is back to the position. That bending, yes, always the bow. That's why in our country, in India, the Shashtanga Namaskara was very, very important, even for the young and the old. Because old also does the Shashtanga Namaskara. When you get that flexibility, Surya Namaskar, when the sun rises, you look at Surya Namaskar, you do 12 steps of Surya Namaskar. It's only about bending and bending. When the spinal column is bent, when the legs are stretched, the hands are stretched, you are always young, your mind is young, everything in your body is young. You can ask the sewage people, the drainage people, the pipes are blocked, you need them to come and pull it out. Same wise, the internal pipes you have to keep cleaning by fasting, but knowing what food should go inside. You take foods before your meal, not after your meal. When you take foods before your meal, what happens? Digestion is very good, but if you take after the meals, indigestion happens, the pipelines are blocked. That's where your stiffness comes, your bloatings come, your gastric problems come, every problem comes. A young tree bends and old tree breaks. Yes, when it is old, it breaks. You have to break. You are breaking. You already broken everything in your life. You broke. And what is left? Because of that one flexibility. Study is the flexibility. Every time when you study, your basics should be taken. I always used to tell my school teachers that first 5 minutes spent on the basics. In the martial arts, they always make sure the warming up exercise, the stretching exercise, then they call it, they go to the Kihons, they say Kihon is the basics. Even if you are the black belt, first degree, 10th degree also, this process continues in every class. The Kihons, they do the basics along with the juniors, and then only they go with the techniques, then they go to the stamina, then they go to the regular movements and techniques, etc. Can you believe? Here, the basics, the foundation of your flexibility is very, very important. Korean martial art is called Chakuruki. Chakuruki says you can see 2.5 kilometers far deep inside. You can hear 2.5 kilometers. You can smell 2.5 kilometers. Yes, you can smell whether the animal is coming, whether it's coming to eat you, whether it is hungry, whether the bird. You can hear who is coming. You can see the stars right in the villages. You see, that far is the stretch of the eyes, that far is the stretch of the hearing, that far is the stretch of the smell. If you can do the stretching most of the time, I've seen the singing masters, Carnatic music, Hindustani music, the dance masters, most of the martial arts, even the games, so many games, they do not have stretching. That's why they land up with a lot of muscle sprain, muscle pull, and the capacity goes down. In our martial arts, what we learn is 1 hour before the class starts, 1 hour of stretching exercise, And after the class, 1 hour stretching. After the class is very, very important. When you do your stretching, you can see that far. When you do your stretching, you can see that kind of pull, like the bow pulls and the arrow goes that powerfully fast. If the body is stretched, you are healthy. When the body is stretched, the mind stretches. You can penetrate that deep, not 2.5 kilometers, 200 million kilometers deep down. That is what the Jewish have done it. The Jews are most powerful people in the world. This pen, they say the pen is mightier than the sword, and they use the brain. Yes, and they became the most powerful economic might. Forbes says out of the 130 the richest people are the Jewish community. They were persecuted, they got destroyed several times. But every time they came up only on one thinking, that not to pint a shit in a cup of vanilla. You never believed when pint can go in a cup of vanilla. Vanilla is 100 is 100. As we say in our school, after the classes, you have to do your homework 1,000 times. You have to practice 1,000 times. When you practice 1,000 times, get improved every cell of the brain. In our martial arts, what they do is, in every one kick, to start the kick is 1,000 times. To understand the kick is 10,000 times. To master the kick is 100,000 times. Own that technique is 500,000 times. And when you see the smallest gap, how the kick goes, knocks down the person. The kick goes without telling. The technique goes. It strikes without the thinking. And you study, it answers flows without thinking. That is the connecting link. A young tree bends, an old tree breaks. When it becomes old, when you do not practice. When it becomes old, when you do not do your homework properly. You save first, then you spend and then try to save. That is the old age. That is the old age. Every time when you have it, money, you must make sure it is dripped to the root, dripped one to your house, one to your joint family, one to the family tree. This is very important. When the drip irrigation is not there, your mind get confused. You lost. Make sure the connecting link is very, very important. They made sure, even though they are the smallest group, how much are the Jewish community? Maybe now 14 million to around 20 million, smallest. Maybe we're very close to the our Bangalore city population, but they control the world economy, powerful, yes. They are so strong in they work hard. Not that they only use the brain. How we still, before we start a business, put our effort, 90% of our effort on thinking, 10% on your work. But they do it back again, 90%. Strong, very powerful to learn a lot from the Jewish community. They became very, very strong around the world. Just they believe. Look at the proverb. A young tree will bend, an old tree. Old did not make that when you become, you will never become old. Even at the age of 120, many people are scuba divers. Yes, 77,000 people I heard of about the age of 100 who does scuba diving. Scuba, when you dive, you see the pearls, you take it up. That should be the trend. I can see 2.5 kilometers. Hearing is 2.5 kilometers. You can smell whether the lion, or in the forest you can smell whether the lion is coming hungry or not. You can smell 2.5 kilometers. Now all those are gone because we never practiced. We are remote controlled by the media, remote controlled by the high technology studies. No, go back to your roots. Then when you make yourself strong, when you yourself are strong, others get the benefit. When you yourself are strong, your family becomes strong. When you yourself are strong, then your joint family system is strong. When you yourself are strong, the family tree becomes very strong. Then the family tree is a young tree. It keeps on bending. It has got a power. It has got the flexibility. Do not forget the flexibility on every region. Flexibility is a strength. Never a straight line. A straight line you will always crack. When a straight line attack comes, you twist it, and you always win. That kind of flexibility is very, very important. The Jewish proverb says, a young tree bends, an old tree breaks. This is the 51st short discourses. We thought of stopping at 50 yesterday. 50 days non-stop. And then quite a lot of people call and say, please continue. It was interesting to understand history, religion, medicine, psychology. Yes. And it has become, we are at home in the COVID time, So only 10 minutes is very good. So please, Guruji continues. The thought continue. Thank you very much for listening. We might continue for another 10 more days. God bless you.